what that was. Just a little improv here again, as usual. I never have a clue what I'm going to play when I sit down here. It's always just kind of jumping in and going for something when I have a chance. It's been raining all day here, man. I went and did a session earlier that I thought was going to take about an hour, and it ended up being an extremely cool song with a guy up the road here. But man, it was a little challenging, I must say. I sat in there and tried to figure out something to play over an interesting chord progression. So that was fun. I had an amazing night last night at the Underdog. Of course, my trio played there 8 to 10 p.m. There was hardly anybody there on Valentine's Day, and then this week, man, that place was absolutely packed, which I'm thrilled about that. We love the owner and glad to see that place doing good. What was I going to tell you? Spent all day Saturday with Billy Gibbons and his wife, and had a great dinner party that night, and spent all day and night with him. That was awesome. Then he came to my gig last night at the Underdog. Stayed all night, man. The coolest guy in the world. Is people taking photos with him all night long, and he just never ever is not 100% totally awesome and cool. Can't say enough good things about him. Ramping up to do the Oats tour here in the middle of March. That's going to be a blast. A lot of traveling this year all over the world, which is going to be a lot of fun. I haven't done that in a while for obvious reasons, as I always say. But man, just having a great time here. Thank you guys so much. I've been learning that there's a big difference between being exhausted and burned out. I'm always exhausted because I work every day, all day long, and all this different stuff that I'm doing. But I'm not burned out because I'm doing so many different things that it keeps me really motivated and interested in all, and jumping from education to maybe a session or a live gig or a tour or building something or working on something else. And so I'm learning that there's a big difference between being exhausted and burned out. If I'm burned out, I don't want to pick this thing up. If I'm exhausted, I might be a little tired, but I still love picking up the guitar and playing and making some music. As I always say, no extra charge for mistakes. These are always improv little things here, but I wanted to share a little something with you here. Try to not make this a super long video, but I was going to say, been teaching a lot here lately, of course, and just noticing, like, I was going to say, practice or play with some intent. So when you sit down to pick up this guitar, rather than, and of course this is going to come from learning these fundamentals, which I preach about, learning the chord shapes and visualizing and putting together the constellations and all that kind of stuff. That's a big deal. And you gotta at some point, if you want to go to the next level, you gotta learn those chord shapes and those fundamentals. So there's that. But when you sit down, rather than weaving in and out of minor and major and different keys, and your ear might not know that you're not in the right key and stuff like that, first of all, the levels of practicing that you can do are, if you're going to play by yourself and just work some stuff out, that's fine. But when it comes time to practice playing over chord changes or something like that, try to make sure the next best thing to playing with another person, because that holds you accountable to not being able to stop when you make a mistake. That's part of it, is like when you got to keep going. When you make a mistake, you got to recover and keep going to where you get to the point where you're not having to worry about that so much anymore. So, or recover so fast that nobody notices it. And so what I was going to say is the next best thing to practice or playing with another person, which I got to do when I was a kid. I got to play with my uncle every day after school, the school I did go to, and that really helped me. I was able to play in real time with another person. And so, and then eventually jam sessions with bluegrass musicians and on stage with blues bands and all that kind of stuff, learning how to basically sink or swim in these situations. But if you're just playing at home by yourself, you're not having to be held accountable to anything. So try to practice with some intent. Put on a metronome, which is my least favorite. If you got a drum machine or something like that, or you can build tracks, or you've got a loop station where you can play some rhythm for yourself and some chord changes. And when you practice this stuff, just do something really simple. Do a standard chord change, A minor to D minor, or the blues changes or something simple, just a 2-chord change until you can really start outlining those chords. Don't try to give yourself some complicated chord progression while you're just starting to learn this stuff, because it's biting off more than you can chew and trying to run before you can walk and all that cliche shit. But anyway, then from there, if you don't have somebody to play with and you've practiced with the drum machine and the metronome, play along to records. You can jam along with the greatest music of all time on any platform that you listen to music on. Learn to play along with some records and learn some stuff note for note. This is how we learn it. So I like to focus on setting up some sort of vibe when I'm playing. All that being said, this is the example. If I'm going to play, if I pick up the guitar and I go, that's setting me up for the A dominant 7 kind of sus vibe. Staying in that vibe and kind of letting that have its own story or its own world there for a little while, and then I'm making myself kind of stay in that vibe, and that's kind of what making music is. We're not bouncing all over the place. So that's like a dominant 7. Then maybe go to like E minor for a minute, but play the chord first so it gets in your head and you can give yourself a parameter to work within, right? To keep yourself accountable for staying in a certain vibe and creating a certain mood or sound or whatever you want to call it. But then maybe we'll go to E minor. Charge for mistakes, E minor. Then maybe we go to C major 7 for a minute. And this is not a chord progression. We're just kind of going random here. Go to C major 7. Vibe a little bit. Then maybe go to let's see, we did major, minor, dominant 7, major 7. That's it. I mean, sometimes I'll just grab a big E major chord. Practice around an E major. So, and then maybe start playing a chord progression. You could be, like I said, A minor. Just a simple chord like that lets you go. Playing around these, Maybe play the blues. Anything you can do to just make yourself stay in some sort of a parameter. So I just want to share that with you. You know, try to focus on major, minor, dominant 7, which is got to stay in that Mixolydian, mixing those together. I know that's the most challenging one, but it's really one of the most important. And then major 7 and major are kind of under the same umbrella because you're still using the major scale. But try to focus on when you sit down to play, keep yourself kind of wrangled in until you're able to truly improvise and really get around on the guitar. That's my tip for today. A little fried here. It's been crazy running around all over the place in the rain and doing a bunch of stuff. And that challenging ass song earlier on that session. Hey, anyway, guys, thanks so much for the support. Check the links below for anything that's going on in my world. And looking forward to seeing you guys real soon. All right, signing off from East Nashville, Tennessee. All right, y'all. Later.